name is Sonny, and it is my mission to travel throughout Vietnam, demystifying its diverse cuisine. From the Mekong Delta style cooking in the south to the rare cuisine of Vietnam's mountain people in the north. Here we have our beautiful giant rainbow snowball of sticky rice. Please, food is better when you share it. And I'm sharing all the amazing yumminess with you guys.
If you see a guy traveling on Vietnam streets, gripping the back of a motorbike or a buffalo, while speaking non-stop into a camera attached to his helmet, that's probably American food vlogger Sonny Side, filming for his YouTube channel, Best Ever Food Review Show.
Best Ever Food Review Show.
More than 500,000 subscribers tune in to watch him try some of Vietnam's lesser-known delicacies. Best Ever Food Review Show is dedicated to exploring the unique foods of each place, with a fresh point of view and a punchy delivery, while encouraging empathy and understanding of other cultures.
Hello there, and welcome to this edition of Talk Vietnam, coming to you all the way from Ho Chi Minh City. Now, humorous, fun, and inspiring are some of the feelings I get upon watching some of the videos from the Best Ever Food Review Show. We'll get a chance to learn all about this channel in this edition of Talk Vietnam. And the man behind these videos, his name is Sonny Side, and he'll be my companion for this edition. Let's go find him. Hey, Sonny.
Well, hi there. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hey,
nice to meet you. Yeah,
you're
you too.
very recognizable with your red bandana from really far away. I mean,
Oh, that's good.
Is that a really distinctive thing of your channel?
Yeah, it's one of the trademarks of my channel. The bandana, it stands for boldness, bravery, courage.
Why did you decide to name it the Best Ever Food Review Show?
I wish there was a really good story behind this, but what happened is my very first episode ever, I was just improvising a lot like I do on my show, and I just said the funniest, silliest name that came to mind in that instant, and that was the name. I mean, I was in my office eating a grilled cheese when I named my show, and I had no idea that 2 years later it would become what it is now.
Yes, no, it's a very catchy name. People immediately, become very curious because it's the Best Ever Food Review Show. They seem like they would be missing out on something.
Yeah, exactly. We were going to name it Okayest Ever, but Best Ever was a good choice.
Exactly. And I'd love to learn more about your story. So if it's possible, can I invite you to coffee?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
All right.
Before joining us for a chat with Sonny, let's learn more about this Minnesota native.
All right, guys. How did I get from being some fat kid in Korea to having a TV show? I published my first video to my channel December 13th, 2015. I was reviewing a grilled cheese sandwich, and I had no idea what I was doing.
I used to weigh like 300 pounds. I've eaten more food than most people.
In the beginning, I was just reviewing Western food in Korea, experimenting with the format, and all I knew for sure is that I wanted to mix yums and lulls and put them together in one format.
I'll be honest, I was so ready to die until God brought this octopus taco to my life.
After doing about 6 to 8 episodes, I realized that this demographic of people watching food reviews of Western places in Seoul, South Korea, that was a really small audience, and so I decided to pivot and kind of change the whole format of my show. In order to have a more broad appeal, instead of reviewing local restaurants, I'm going to be reviewing weird, strange, interesting food from different countries. And I decided to pivot and focus on strange foods. That's a topic that had always been interesting to me. For me, it was just inherently interesting content. Putting myself in really unusual, uncomfortable situations and pushing my boundaries on camera, I thought would make some really compelling content. What inspired you in the first place to make your
your videos? I know you were in Korea back then.
I was living in Korea. I've been producing videos, doing videography, directing for quite a few years, and I was at the point where I wanted to start making content for myself, making my own content, and I just kind of looked at what was interesting to me, what I thought I could be good at, and looking at the travel niche online, on YouTube, I really felt like people weren't taking it to where it could be. From the content that I saw, and this isn't to bash anybody else, but I just wanted to make the type of show that I would want to see.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people basically doing an extension of what you might already see on
TV.
the travel channel.
Yes, exactly.
So it was just kind of dry, hey, check out this old place, here's some history, this food is tasty, but I just thought, like, what if I could just bring more energy, humor, and that kind of thing into the videos.
Yes, I can get that vibe a lot from the videos that you produce. It has a lot of humorous and comedic vibe. Is that kind of the main aim for you to have the entertainment side be a very big aspect of what you're trying to deliver?
Yes, but it's always a balance, because sometimes I've focused far too much on the execution and trying to make it interesting when it needs to be equally about the food. And sometimes I just get so used to being in these interesting places like Vietnam or other countries in Asia that I forget that some of the topics I'm covering are already inherently super interesting on their own, and they sometimes don't need a lot of extra execution as far as making them entertaining.
Exactly.
The foods themselves, I mean, the worm pancake in Vietnam doesn't need a lot of like extra layers on top of that. The average Western person interested in travel or food is going to watch that and be pretty captivated. So it's an ongoing balancing act, trying to figure out how much to focus on the food, the culture, and try to insert some moments of
kind of
humor and entertainment in there too.
Exactly. What are some of the weirdest dishes you've had?
The one that's shocked people the most is chao rui. I'm probably saying it wrong.
Chao rui.
Okay, that's good. You're good at that.
Yes.
You're really good. Did you study a lot of Vietnamese?
I'm Vietnamese.
Oh, okay. No, I know. I'm just kidding you. I'm just joking.
Yes.
So that one has the worms. We actually went to where they're raising the worms, like kind of farming the worms.
Yeah.
And then in Hanoi, we saw them on the street there with the worms still alive. They were chopped up, put into a pancake, and then as a special treat, they put more worms on top of the pancake. So visually, for people watching it for the first time, it looks really intimidating.
Yeah,
I mean,
very squirmish.
Yeah. If you're squeamish at all, it's not for you. But worms are one of those things that look super intimidating, but it's pretty innocuous. It doesn't have any like strong flavor or weird texture. It's just kind of mushy and noodly.
And did you enjoy it in the end?
Flavors are great. Definitely felt that there were worms in my mouth. That part was a little hard to get used to.
Yes.
I haven't tried it before, but I heard people said that it is so tasty. The smell is so good. The texture is also very nice. So they can make even 9 different kind of dishes for this kind of worm.
It's always a thrill to try a new food in a new country, and that's why today is extra special, because we're trying a rare delicacy in Vietnam that even most Vietnamese people have not experienced, including jum. Are you excited?
I'm so excited, Sonny.
Cool.
We can run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside. Take away the pain.
Holy crap, that is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Look at this little wiggly guy. Get a close up of that.
How does it feel?
He's upside down. Oh, okay, he's friendly so far. He's not biting or anything.
Okay, the feeling is special.
Yeah, special is the right word. There's like thousands of these little worms in here. Yeah. Oh my God! Whoa! Is this okay? I'm touching your worms. Is it cool? We cool? All right, thank you. You're not supposed to touch someone's worms without asking, but look at these drippy worms. Guys, this is what's gonna be going into our food later.
What if I said I'm sorry? What if I make a scene? Wouldn't that make you mine again? All I ever need. After collecting our worm catch of the day, we head to our worm guide's house, where cooking is already underway.
What's that? Is that salt?
A little of MSG.
Oh, I like a lot of MSG. Can they put more?
These worms are one ingredient in a larger pancake that also includes ground pork, eggs, ginger, chilies, and some Vietnamese herbs and spices.
So now we already have our pre-made mixture with the ginger in there, some egg, minced pork, and she is just dumping on gobs and gobs of worms. It's viscous, it's a thick material, but they're slowly blending into it.
After the fire is stoked, a banana leaf and several wild beetle leaves are laid on the bottom of our cooking pan.
This is amazing because they've created a base with some different leaves, and then they put pork fat on top of that, and now she's using a ladle to ladle on some of this batter, worm batter. It's one huge pancake in there. I've never seen anything like this, where they create a kind of a base to the pan just with leaves so it doesn't get so hot and it doesn't burn so much. I feel like an archaeologist because these worms in this cake look like little fossils. I thought everything was gonna be mushed up like a hamburger, but we got real chunks of worm in here. I know, you're hungry too, right? Okay, not that hungry.
You should try it. The texture is nice.
Oh.
It's crispy outside.
So on one side we have the leaves. This is the beetle nut leaf. We're eating a cake full of worms. Cheers, worm cake.
It's good.
The texture is halfway between bread and an omelet. There's crunchy bits, there's mushy bits, and then once in a while, you get like a jiggly little worm in there, and you're like, oh, that's 100% a worm.
Along the way, you know, you've obviously worked with Vietnamese cameramen, Vietnamese producers here in the country. How has that process been, and does that kind of help you in the process of making your videos better?
Yeah, my team is ridiculous. We're killing it. Like, I've got a local Vietnamese camera guy. He's not from Saigon. He's kind of from the central region a little bit more. He's great. He's a young kid, but he's learns very quick, and he's a hard worker and has a very perfectionistic kind of attitude. So he goes like the extra mile, or in Vietnam, the extra kilometer. And then we've got a producer on our team, and she helps doing research and set up the shoots when we're going to different cities. It would be impossible to do all the hosting and editing and all this stuff for the channel, and also research everything too. So it's priceless to have these people on our team. As I told you about those unusual foods we checked out in Hanoi, that was all due to the research that was done by producer me. Producer me and Kai, the camera guy, the best in the game.
Tu Chi District, Hai Dung Province. Welcome to our exclusive behind the scenes with Team Sonny Side. The team that produces Sonny's videos consists of a producer, a videographer, Sonny, and a Vietnamese host. As a videographer and producer, Sonny pays extra attention to the details of each shoot and discusses ideas with his teammates before filming.
20 minutes. Can you give me 5 more minutes?
Sonny on screen is quirky and spontaneous, but when it comes to work, he's a perfectionist. He'll even take part in filming the scenes he's not in, or do a scene over and over many times until it's perfect.
Em rất là thích cái cách làm việc của Sonny, tại vì nó không có theo một cái khuôn khổ, cũng không có theo một cái bài vở gì hết. Tức là mình có tất cả những gì thì mình làm hết sức, mình làm hết mình thôi. Thì đó cũng là cách làm việc của em. Em cảm thấy Sonny là một người cũng khá là nghiêm túc trong công việc, nhưng mà cũng rất là khó kiếm được một người có một cái cách làm việc thoải mái.
Even though every detail is prepared for a smooth shooting, the show is not scripted. Sonny's lines, reactions, his sense of humor, his curiosity, enthusiasm, and eagerness to learn about Vietnamese culture are all genuine.
Real fresh. I thought this would be like a little bit of worm mixed with pork. It's a little bit of pork mixed with worm. Wowzer. That.
Không có thích ai nói trước về cái điều gì đó, cái mà chuẩn bị mình làm thì bạn đó sẽ giống như là tự nhiên hết, hoàn toàn. Bạn sẽ đến nơi và sẽ trải nghiệm thực tế luôn. Thì tức là những cái thước phim mà các bạn thấy ở trên chương trình của Sonny Side đó, thì đó là những cái thước phim thật. Và cái cảm xúc, cái lời nói và những cái vui tính đó là đều thật hết. Nó không có giả.
And inside the house, his mom is making the
Sonny's love for Vietnam can be seen in videos. He can go to the farthest places in Vietnam just to try the most unique local dishes. Anyone can feel this love when they meet Sonny.
Thực sự là bạn Sonny này, bạn đã có một cái tâm ý rất là tốt khi tới Việt Nam. Đó là muốn đưa những cái nét đẹp của con người, của văn hóa, của ẩm thực Việt Nam mình tới cho bạn bè quốc tế. Thì cái công việc của bạn rất là ý nghĩa và em rất là vui khi mà có cái cơ hội cộng tác cùng với lại Sonny.
From the beginning, your channel, you're the brains behind the editing and the whole production and how everything is laid out. Do you have a background a little bit in production and editing work? What were you doing before, you started your channel?
That's my secret weapon is I make up with whatever I lack in being a host. I make up for that with my ability to edit and shoot. My background is as a videographer, as a director in Korea. I did some video work when I was in high school. I learned a little bit about video then, but it was when I went to Korea, maybe aged around 26, that I really started getting into it again and dedicating myself to making video. And so I've been able to take all of those skills and bring it into what I do now.
Yes, I understand that when you were in Korea, you did video production for music videos. For
Yeah,
really
I did a few
popular,
videos, music videos. And actually, I try to put some elements like that into my videos too. If I can make peppy, energetic videos that feel like, 30% music video, 30% food video, 30% kind of comedy thing, that's kind of the formula I'm going for.
Yes.
With just good energy, good music. I want people to finish watching the video and feel good for some reason, but not really know why.
What brought you originally to Asia, to Korea? I mean, you've been in Asia now for around 10 years.
This is weird to talk about because I still feel oddly self-conscious about some aspects of my 20s. I really felt like I was kind of a loser in my 20s. And the reason I want to talk about it now is because I know that 20s is a time of struggle for
a lot of
probably
people.
Most people.
Yes.
But they all think that they're the only ones struggling. But when I was
true.
in my younger 20s, like I didn't do well in college. I wasn't focused. I didn't really have a clear goal in mind for what I wanted to do or achieve. I eventually dropped out of college. I worked a lot of just terrible dead-end jobs. And then finally I got into radio, and radio was like my first creative job. And I was still like intern level. I mean, I was working the overnight shift, like 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. It was great because it was just my first creative job, and it got me just on that path, having a mentor giving me feedback and learning more about the entertainment industry, which that is part of, the communications industry. So around that time, I had applied for a big radio job, and I didn't get it. And that's one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it was after that I decided, before I head down any other serious career path, I wanted to travel and just see what else is outside of central Minnesota. And that's why I moved to Korea.
Yes, so that minute that one door closes, this is a new path. I mean, otherwise you might still be in Minnesota kind of doing a radio job now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why Korea back then?
I was looking at a lot of different countries, and my brother knew somebody living in Korea, and so I would just know a few people there when I moved there. But even when I moved to Korea, I didn't have a job set up when I went there. I didn't have a clear line or path to success. I went to Korea with like a couple grand in my bank account and no real plan, but I didn't even have enough money to fly back home if I hated it. Like, I had to make it work. And so I started out, I was teaching English here and there. That was its own journey in itself, figuring out how that works, and then slowly got into video, teaching myself video. I created a filmmaker's workshop because I knew if I was going to get good and get better, I needed really constructive, critical feedback, like honest feedback for my work. And that's why I'm still very critical of myself, and that's hopefully why my content is decent, because of that kind of ability to look critically at my own work. And so I had a Soul Filmmakers workshop there, and from there I just kept building and building my video career until I was able to actually make a living from video in Korea.
What happened after kind of this period of you working in music video production and different production? What kind of led you from Korea to Vietnam?
Well, around the time I left Korea, I had been doing my show already almost a year. And I was kind of looking for a reason to leave Korea. Korea was great for me. I developed a lot professionally and as a person. I think I went from being a 24-year-old boy to a man. But I was looking for where I could live and experience the next chapter of my life. And I felt like I could grow as much as I could grow in Korea. And then that's when I stumbled upon Vietnam. And I happened to come here just for some shooting. A friend who was my camera guy was available for a long weekend. We came here for about 5 or 8 days to start out with. And then during that trip is when I made the plans to move here.
Yes. Do you remember what you shot in that trip?
Yeah, you know, during my first trip to Vietnam, I was still really focused just on the unusual food. So we shot durian. It smells like fruit. We shot cricket, scorpion, coconut worms. Ooh, it is just pulsing. Hey, do you eat the head? Yeah. Eat it all? We shot rat in the Mekong Delta. Gan, the duck blood soup.
Yes.
Yeah, all that stuff was during that first trip.
Exactly. What about those 5 to 8 days in Vietnam, though, made you decide that you would like to make plans here and settle here?
I really liked the energy of Saigon. It was a little intense in the beginning, all the traffic and noise, but I just, the hustle and bustle, and also bustle, it was also the bustle too, of the city. It just seemed like a really fun city, and it gave me those feelings of inspiration that I had when I first moved to Korea. You know, as somebody who was a budding filmmaker in Korea, the city and the new country was so inspiring to me. But I just got used to it after 8 years of being there. That's why, even though I lived in Korea, I only ever shot 5 episodes there because I was just kind of forgot what made that place special. And so coming to Vietnam, it was just new inspirations, new sights, new smells, new just tons of stuff to see, noises, all this cacophony of sensory input that was just new, exciting, and interesting.
These little clams already in Hoi An, but the meal...
Sonny's videos are more than just a food review show. Many of his videos introduce and feature local people, their culture, and the traditional ways of preparing the delicacy. The coffee culture in Saigon and its interesting old-fashioned way of brewing coffee is an example. Unlike any other, this shop's coffee is hand-roasted right in front of their shop, adding salt, butter, and rice wine during the roasting, and the coffee is brewed through a sieve.
Cheers.
Here.
The story of the land and culture also varies across Vietnam, like his visit to families in northern, central, and southern Vietnam for traditional Tet dishes. He learned how to make Tet cake and blend in with the locals by doing traditional gestures, such as giving and receiving lucky money. After more than a year of living in Vietnam, Sonny has traveled to many places across the country, from the northern mountainous province of Hai Giang.
The local people dressed in their vibrant traditional clothing.
We are going on another fun food adventure, and this time we are in the Mekong Delta.
To the southern Mekong Delta, and he has been really blown away by the quality of flavor and food in every region.
That's tremendous.
After trying more than 100 dishes in Vietnam, Sonny believes the Vietnamese people put a lot of pride in their food. His goal and favorite part are telling the story of the food and making it the most comedic and entertaining video as possible, not the best foodie video.
Let me teach you how to say cheers in my country. Một, hai, ba. Yo! Yo! That's how we do it in Minnesota.
So familiar.
What are some of the most memorable shows that you've done, and the stories kind of behind the scene that people would not see on screen that I believe can be as equally entertaining?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite things we ever got to shoot was in near Sapa, in a place called Ta Phin Village, home of the Red Yao people.
Yes.
And we amazingly were able to come in contact with a guide and hang out with her family. Her name is May, and her family and her, like, it was such an interesting conduit because her English was so good that we could communicate really clearly, and she could clearly express what it's like to live there. And she lives in this insanely isolated area, so different from me. I mean, we went there for breakfast the first day, and they literally need to like make a fire, boil some water, make some rice. And like 2 hours later, we're done with breakfast, and I'm like, oh my, tomorrow we're just getting bread. But it was just so amazing to see how different they live. And she was just, yeah, so generous and kind and thoughtful in explaining her culture, showing us their food, how they live, but also showing the traditions they have there.
Yes.
And how she wants to influence the future for the better.
Our journey into northern Vietnam continues. Last week, we traveled from Hanoi to Ta Phin Village, home of the Red Yao people. Next week, we'll be visiting Bac Ha Market. And finally, we'll end our journey in Dong Van. But today, we're back with our local guide May to learn the secret behind her family's naturally radiant sticky rice.
We're heading into the mountain, and what are we looking for this time?
Now we go to the mountain, find some leaf to make sticky rice. That's color, make the food more delicious, more colorful.
Typically prepared with 5 different colors, they actually dye the rice naturally, using only special herbs growing near their home.
We're using natural herbs to dye the rice.
Yeah, yes.
And they'll all have a little different taste.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. Which color tastes the best?
Purple color, little bit like the French fry or like the small animal, like the insect.
Oh, like an insect.
Yes.
Once we've gathered our ingredients, we head back to the house to prep the rice, starting by boiling the herbs in water until they take on the new color.
We have all of our rice ingredients, and your mother is hard at work down here. So what color is this? Oh, this is blue.
Blue color.
Look at that. This blueness is coming just from a plant, some plant.
With the rice underway, our meal is still not complete without the peanut dip, made by shelling and frying peanuts, then crushing them into tiny salty bits.
Work has paid off, and actually it turned out much more beautiful than I even expected. It's radiant blue, purple, yellow. What color is that?
I think we can call it rice. What?
It's rice color?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this one's just got a rice color. I thought the whole purpose was just to dye it to make it pretty, but it actually is changing the flavor of the food. And which one was the one that tastes like insects?
Purple. I tried insect before.
You tried eating an insect?
Yeah.
What insect did you eat?
Like I don't know, but we just conduct the insect flying. Yeah.
Okay, so it tastes like some kind of flying insect?
Yeah.
Okay, that got me excited. You've got some fried salty peanut dip, but we're gonna first just try it alone. Straight up purple rice to see if it really tastes like insects. Let's try it out.
What do you feel?
Into this peanut sauce. Cheers. That's so yummy. For me today, it was just all about the process, making it, seeing how it's done. It's really impressive that you guys just do this beginning to end, all from what's around you. Even our tablecloth right here, from a banana tree in the backyard. We had a great time. The food was amazing, but the experience was even better. So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, thank you, yes.
Your channel has now become almost in terms of, it's become a brand. And you have to try to keep up that brand. How do you finance kind of your travels, what you're doing?
Right now, the two main ways I finance what I'm doing is through sponsorships. So people who help basically with some kind of resources, help make the video making possible, or just through money made from YouTube AdSense. So people who have YouTube channels, I think after you hit a certain amount of subscribers, you're able to apply to monetize your videos, and then you can place ads on your videos and you make money from that.
Wait, do you face any, current challenges in order to kind of keep up the work, other than the fact that you're quite busy with your schedule?
It's about constantly shifting and making the execution better over time, so that we are using our time really well when we're shooting. So I'm giving myself enough editing days, enough rest days. It's a constant struggle, but it's a good kind of struggle. It's a fun struggle to figure out. And in this next year, we'll, as our team expands, that'll be some new challenges too. How to manage more people, but get more done.
To get more done, and also creatively so. I mean, I think for any production company or any, being from the media scene myself, I think the difficulty is to stay creative and keep your, work diverse and not in the same style.
Yeah, and to not get sick of it. Like, you should be excited about what you're doing. Or at least that's what I want to be.
Yes.
I want, when we are looking at a video topic, the answer should be, and I got this from someone else, but the answer should be no or hell yes. Like, no, just like, all right, let's shoot that. We should be really excited about everything we're working on.
To all of the a lot of young people here in Vietnam are starting off their own channel. The YouTube vlogging scene is getting bigger in the past few years. So what advice would you have for a lot of YouTubers starting out their own channel? I mean, you face your own difficult time when you wanted to quit. So what would you say to them?
Okay, I have a few pieces of advice, I guess. If you're looking to go into this field, I would say a few things. One is, with your content initially, don't make it about you. And that, it's easy to look at people who are huge in the vlogging scene, and they've achieved a certain amount of credibility, and then people care what they think after that. Anthony Bourdain is a huge, travel host. People want to know his favorite food, his least favorite food, things like that, because he's already established all this credibility. If you're starting out, you don't have any credibility. And so it's best to focus on the topic at hand. Whatever you choose to be. You could be reviewing electronics or
makeup,
nightlife or makeup or doing tutorials, anything, but focus on making it more about that and less about you. I would say in the beginning, you need to focus on getting better. I've had people write me, and it's so fascinating because they haven't made anything, they haven't done anything, and they're like, what's your advice? My advice is just start it. Get started. If you look at my first videos, they suck compared to what I'm doing now. And hopefully I can say that again in 2 more years. Hopefully I look at what I'm doing now and I'm like, man,
why did I do that?
I thought that was good. Now what I'm doing is really what it's supposed to be. So you need to just grow and build over time and be super critical on yourself. Keep going. don't stop, but you need to be critical and self-aware at the same time.
Now, we've spent the whole show talking about food. I'm excited to go out there and try some food, and Sonny will be my companion. So where are we going, Sonny?
All right, well, there's a street food market. They have a ton of stuff to choose from. I've heard, I haven't been there yet, but why don't we go there together and see what we can find?
Exciting, let's go.
Let's go.
Yes.
We have come to an amazing street food market right here in Saigon. There are people, there is food, there are motorbike fumes. Let's go find something to eat.
Yes, let's go.
Wow, this place is insane.
Yes.
Motorbikes everywhere, tons of food.
Very, very crowded.
Some like real Vietnamese stuff.
It looks beautiful, very animated, and the smell, the aromas is so, so good. And then you got all of the really nice kind of work, walking going on there.
Wow, they got it all figured out here. I love it. Do you see anything you like?
I see.
Oh, have you had this before?
Oh yes, the embryo, the duck embryo.
Right. But which one did we order?
We ordered the trứng cút lộn xào mẹ, which basically means quail embryo sautéed with tamarind.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh, look at that.
Is this it right here?
Yes.
Oh, actually, I have not had this style.
I
had one that was kind of sautéed with tamarind and it was warm.
Ah.
And this one, they freshly shelled it. They have some Vietnamese coriander, tamarind, fried onions, and peanuts on top.
Yep.
So I predict it's going to be a little savory, a little sweet, and a good mixture of textures in there.
So good. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh. It's so yummy.
Very, very good. This is so good. It's like you taste a little bit of the sourness of the tamarind, and it's warm, but then it has the freshness of the herbs and the shallots and the peanuts. Everything comes together in this wonderful explosion in your mouth.
Wow,
good.
You could be a food reviewer.
Thank you.
I think you just showed me up.
Will you hire me for your channel?
Absolutely.
So throughout your process of filming and making shows here in the country, what have you been most proud of?
I think in Vietnam, for Vietnam, especially from Western people's point of view, which is the only view I can really represent, it feels like there's not that much that comes to mind with Vietnam, aside from maybe the Vietnam War, maybe like pho, or a couple different foods. But overall, it's not all the positive things that are here. So what I'm really proud of so far is that I've been able to, at least a little bit, in my own little way, represent some of the really awesome positive sides of Vietnam and represent the incredible diversity, hard-working people, the diversity in geography from north to south. All of that has been amazing to be able to share. And then I see people's comments. There's so many people who are like, "Whoa, I knew nothing about Vietnam."
Yes.
Until seeing some of your videos, and now I really want to go there. I really want to visit.
It's also a more, in my opinion, it's also a more contemporary insight into Vietnam. I mean, as you said, a lot of people know about Vietnam's past.
Right.
And that's all they know. And now they know more about kind of the real life here, the real people.
Right.
And all of that through food.
Yeah.
And through your stories.
Exactly. I'm interested in what is happening in Vietnam right now, especially when it comes to food. Mostly food.
Which is bún mắm soda. shop's really colorful.
Yeah, I like this. You see here, he's got all the different bowls of ingredients. Hello. I bancheng kun. Perfect pronunciation.
Yay.
He understood everything.
Yes. Oh, look at this. This is amazing.
Oh, you can have the first one there.
Look at this.
15 to 20,000, about $1, a little bit less than $1.
How beautiful.
And that is a feast. Not only a feast for the eyes, also you can in your mouth. Oh, that's a perfect bite. Okay, you grab one too.
Okay,
Because we have to kind of go at the same time.
All right, we have to make it.
People want to see you eat in unison. It's very awkward if you're just eating alone or
Are
someone
you
watching
ready?
you. I'm
This
ready,
is
let's
a
do
huge
this.
bite. I don't know if I could. Okay.
You got it. Believe in yourself. Here we go.
Oh, I dropped.
This meal, the snack, is kind of a celebration of textures because there's everything in there. There's like crunchy with the peanuts, the roll is chewy, but then you have some even tough parts with like dried chicken and dried squid is like really tough. So it's just an awesome mix. And then the papaya is its own snappy crunchiness to it.
It's so good.
So lovely.
The little bit of spiciness also adds a kick to it. So it's like an explosion of flavors there. You have everything in there. This is the first time I've had this too. Sonny has been giving me like a whole new preview of different foods here in the city. So I had a lot of fun today, Sonny. Thank you so much for the experience and sharing your story. Do you think maybe you'll probably make a video about this market?
This market, absolutely. This market was off the chain awesome.
Yes.
So many foods, yeah.
Yes, and I got a chance to be able to try so many foods I hadn't even tried before. So that was our edition of Talk Vietnam today. Learning more about Sonny's story and enjoying the incredible food here in the country. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time here in Talk Vietnam. Bye for now.
A peace.